Masada. This is from the cable car landing on top of Masada.
Yeah, we see it.
And as you can see, we're pretty high.
Where?
This rectangle down here is the Roman camp.
The Romans stayed there for three or 4 years.
Are we high? Oh my God, Diane. How high up?
And now the cable car is going back to get Mom and Karen.
I'll walk over there.
Jeffrey and I.
Don't walk over near me, because I'll throw you over. I'll throw you over. Oh, but this is nothing to show you falling. You want to bet? Well, if you fall here, you can go down there, then down there.
There's
Behind Tracy.
the cable car on its way down.
Look over here. Trace, there.
I don't know exactly how high we are, but it's quite a few thousand feet.
Wow, look how fast it's going.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we continue. And if you be so kind to follow.
Do you know where you're going?
Masada is not a town. Masada is not a complex of layers of civilization. Masada was never covered by sand because it is high. Sand couldn't blow in the wind and come up here, and there was no other civilization that had interest to come and build either on top or use the same construction. So first of all, we have to remember
Is that below the black line, when the when they found this, I got my tongue in my throat. When they found this, that's the original. Above it is the restoration, and the word is archaeologists. So everything above was restored with the original rocks. Everything below is as they found it. Side of Herod's palace. Herod the First on top of Masada. And a few times we'll have to see the two of them liking each other.
Okay, the black line is the
We
original.
explained, now let's see if I can explain it again without my tongue getting caught in my throat. Below the black line is the way the archaeologists found it. Above the black line is where they reconstructed it with the original stones.
it's got to be a geologist's dream.
This is the original Mosaic Floor. It was found in the excavation.
And this had to be his chief of staff, or his bodyguard, the officer, the one who guarded him all his life. It is very, very modern, related to the 1st century BCE. And this is the most beautiful, right there and right here. That's exactly what it looks like.
This is obviously a bath. This is a
Children, will you be
stairway.
so kind to follow? Come on, come on. Leave them there.
This is the remains of the ramp
From where you are staying,
that the Romans used to get to the top of Masada.
or the children at the end, to the gentlemen that are taking video, that's how wide the ramp was getting up to here. About 2,000 years, when the wind blows back and forth, this is what remained from the artificial ramp. It is not natural. It was built by prisoners that were in this tent. You see that square? There is another little square over here, and there is a square inside the big one. These are the remains of camps. Now, what means the remain of a camp? The square is falling stone.
Of the ancient temple on top of Masada. There is a service going on in there right now, but not Jeffrey's service yet. We'll be going in.
Not that kind, and not for worship. So who did it? Now we believe that it was formed out of another room. It was a guard room, or one of the guard rooms, that was formed as a synagogue. And a reverend has to be one day.
You don't have to know.
And here's the bar mitzvah boy, Mr. J. Scott Sarofsky,
I believe that a person like this
on top of Masada, just before his bar mitzvah.
I don't believe that he was born of a virgin woman. I don't believe that he is son of God. I don't believe that he was resurrected. I don't believe that he disappeared. I believe that a man like this existed.
Okay, go and sit over there. No, you over here, okay. You come between here and then we'll go and sit over there. Boys, take the talit out of your take the talit out your bag. Yeah, holding it like this, yeah. And I will just say word by word. I'm saying the word and you're repeating after me. Okay? Baruch. Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Kideshanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu להתעטף בציצית. Okay, so it's something on your head. This service, I would like to start with a few words of introduction to the place where we are. You probably may wonder, even though you've heard already Yair and Maurice about the place that you are now located in, the synagogue, I would like to add some Jewish meaning to the place where we are. We think that we are now isolated in the middle of the desert, but we are not. We are in the center of many, many Jewish happenings. If we look some 30 miles to this direction, to the west, this is the route of the patriarchs. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob wander with the sheep and goat, winter time in Beersheba, summertime in Hebron. If we look some 30 miles to this direction, this is Mount Nebo, where Moses stood looking over the promised land which he wasn't allowed to enter. Some 40 miles to this direction, this is Jericho, with Moses, after he died, with Joshua and the Israelites coming to enter into the promised land, to conquer it and to make it into the land of Israel. And some 10 miles away from us, this is King Saul and David in En-Gedi. And we are here on top of Masada, coming to make again this connection of long heritage, coming to Masada, remembering the zealots, the fighters of freedom, who gave their life when they decided that they would rather die but not to become slaves to the Roman. And this is where we are. Masada today in modern Jewish history means a lot to us here in Israel. This is why our soldiers, when they finish the first training, march their way through the desert and come as sunset to Masada, and they take an oath to protect the state of Israel when they declare Shenit Masada lo tipol, Masada shall not fall again. Receiving as soldiers what is obvious, the rifle in one hand, but the Bible in the other hand. And this is why Masada is becoming a center for many, many Jewish youngsters from all over the world to come and to celebrate their bar and their bat mitzvah. And even to make it even stronger to you, bar mitzvah and bat not mitzvah, I would say so. You know that in the middle of the harbor of New York, there is a copper lady standing with her hand like this. You call it the Statue of Liberty. Masada is our Statue of Liberty. And this is why we're coming again to Masada again and again, every year, to make again this connection and to see to it that we shall go in the footsteps of our ancestors, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Moses, Joshua and the Israelites, King Saul and David, the Zealots, and us today. Let us turn into our prayer booklets and open it on the first page, page 1. And even though it is not printed in our prayer book, I know that you all know. Please join in and sing together with me. Hinne ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinne ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinne ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
We come to the place as links in a chain tracing its original beyond Sinai. We come as Jews to worship our God and identify with our people. There have been many times in our people's history when we have assembled in worship with heavily burdened hearts. Today we come to this spot, which occupies so prominent a place in our history, with a sense of commitment and joy. We come to dedicate ourselves to Israel's past, present, and future. We assemble in oneness with Israel in all times and all places.
To praise the name of God is not an act of obedience. It is a proclamation that we will not accept the world as it is. We accept the glory of Masada and the devotion to the ideals of our people as expressed by its inhabitants of old. We rise not only to acknowledge all those of our people who precede us, but also with the belief that we count the future of our people.
Let us all rise and face Jerusalem. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Please be seated.
Once this was a synagogue. The prayers and meditations of our people echoed from the base of these columns. The prayers of generations of Jews determined to be free sanctified this place. Now, we by our presence sanctify it. It is once again a Beit Knesset. We come to Masada as it links in a chain that began in Ur of Chaldees, when Abraham responded to God with the word Hineni. We come as families to consecrate our children to the future of our people. Our gift to them is the Jewish past and present. Their gift to us is their declaration, by word and deed, that Masada shall not fall again. We, families of Israel, declare by presence at the peak of Masada, Am Yisrael Chai, the people of Israel lives.
Pray for a time of universal peace, when the young shall marry and children shall grow without fear or apprehension. When infants shall no longer sleep in bunkers, removed from family, from the stars, the moon, and the chirping of crickets in the night. The lovers, unafraid, shall wander the woods, gaze up at the sky, and make their plans for a glorious future. We have come to this ancient synagogue to pray for the future.
Let us all rise and chant together the ancient words. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto, ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך, בכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Poland is commingled with Masada, Eaton with Akiba, and Giora with Bakoka. Young lives created in your image and no more. Those who wanted only life are no longer among the living. We are at one with them, O Lord. We are at one with those who are no more. We are at one with those who would answer infamy as a Jumlas, defiantly with life.
We pray not only for those who are gone, but for those who are to build a future for the glory of your name. Give us the strength to build a better world. Give us the strength to create a world that everyone will proclaim, as we have proclaimed, not only the oneness and uniqueness of the creator of all humanity, but the sanctity of the individual human being.
Let our song be a song for peace. Let us not whisper or quarrel, but sing a song for peace, with a tumultuous shout. Let the sun penetrate through the flowers, lift your eyes with hope. Sing a song for love and love for what? Don't say the day will come. Bring that the death. It is not a dream. And within every city square, shout only for peace.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא נהילות עושה פלא. שירה חדשה, שבחי גולים, לשמך על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופדה חינומך יהודה וישראל. גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני גואל ישראל.
A white sail on the horizon against dark, heavy clouds. All this we ask, may it be. In dark windows, candlelight flickers. All that we ask, may it be.
Let us read together. What are those sounds? Sounds of the shofar, sounds of the trumpets. If only our prayers would be heard. All that we ask, may it be.
And if from out of the darkness a star shines overhead, all that we ask, may it be. Give rest and strength to all whom you love. All that we ask, may it be.
עוד יש מפרש לבן באופק מול ענן שחור כבד, כל שנבקש לו יהי. ואם בחלונות הערב אור נרות החג רועד, כל שנבקש לו יהי. לו יהי, לו יהי, אנא לו יהי, כל שנבקש לו יהי. לו יהי, לו יהי, אנא לו יהי, כל שנבקש לו יהי. Our sages teach us that there are two kinds of prayers. One prayer is the one which is printed in a prayer book, and the other one is a prayer that we pray with our heart, a prayer that we can express only with feelings. Usually it is not the duty of a rabbi to tell the people he is praying with, the congregation, what should they meditate about when they come into the silent prayer. But as I'm doing in every bar or bat mitzvah, this morning I would like you all to concentrate yourself on our boys and girls, the bar and bat mitzvah. We shall pray for them because, as Tevya and the fiddler on the roof said, Schwer zu sein a Yid, it's difficult to be a Jew. It was difficult to be a Jew there in Russia under the Tsar but it is difficult to be a Jew today. And as we see today, and we are terrified, there are so many of them, of our youngsters, who look through the gates of the synagogue into the world outside the Jewish world, and they say, why do we need this all? Let's step outside. And most of them don't come back. And we lose many of them every year. We would like to place this heritage, the heritage that we received from our ancestors, into the hands of this young generation of girls and boys, in order to continue this long chain of continuity. But only we can hope is that they will really fulfill what all the dreams that we are dreaming today. So we shall pray for them, so they will have the strength and the courage to continue to live as Jews. And as everybody around here now praying for you, you'll pray for yourself. And you, so I hope, take upon yourself a commitment that when you are fathers and mothers yourself, you are going to bring your children to the synagogue. Doesn't have to be this particular one, could be anywhere in the Jewish world, to make again this connection, and that we shall all know that Am Yisrael Chai, the people of Israel, still lives and will live forever and ever. Let us all pray silently. Ose shalom bimroma, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yase shalom. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Celebrate the rebirth of Israel in the season of birth. We give thanks that we have been granted this privilege of witnessing the great event to be participants in this service, at this time and in this place. In this spirit, we rise and utter the ancient words.
Let us all rise. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Gadol Shemo, Gadol Adonai iti, Uneromema Shemo Yachedav. Please be seated. The Torah portion that we are going to read this morning is the beginning of a new book, beginning of the Book of Deuteronomy, where Moses in the beginning repeats on the Jewish history and reminds this new generation, the generation that is about to penetrate into the land of Canaan in order to turn it to the land of Israel, the people that is going to be led by Joshua, who are they and what they are. We are opening this morning also a new chapter in your life. Now you are becoming men and women in the household of Israel. From now on onwards, as you step forward to read from the Torah, you are considered to be grown-up people. This long chain of continuity started here, and it goes a very short distance in steps, but very long distance in years, from Moses to you. I hope it will be the same length, at least, to the future, so we all know, as I mentioned before, Am Yisrael Chai, the people of Israel, is alive and will be alive forever. The first one to be called to the Torah would be Jill. And Stephen, you are preparing yourself. Baruch Adonai Yamborach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamevarach Le'olam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Toratahu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen Ele Hadvarim Asher Diber Moshe El Kol Yisrael Ve'ever Yaharidim V'midabar V'aravam Mol Suvan Varan V'in Tufel V'lavan V'chaseru V'der Zachav Ahad V'ser Yom Nechoreb Derech Harset An Kadesh Barnea Vayihi B'Ariv Ba'im Shana V'ashitei Aser Hodesh Be'echad Lahodesh Deber Moshe El B'nei Yisrael B'kol Asher Tzivah Adonai Ocho Elech. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata b'toheinu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Stephen, and Nadine is preparing herself. Baruch Adonai Yamborach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamevarach Le'olam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Toratahu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Ashrei Cho'et Sichon Melech Ha'ebor Asher Yoshev Bo Be'et Ad Melech Habashan Asher Yoshev Ash Taro Be'ed Re'eh Be'haver Havari Den Be'ed Ret Ra'am Hu'il Moshe Be'er Et HaTorah Hazot Lemor Adonai Eloheinu Deber Eleinu B'Horev Lemor Rahalal Shemet Bahar Hazeh. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata b'toheinu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. This is now Jan, and Nadine is preparing herself.
Baruch Adonai
Baruch
Hamevarach
Adonai Yamborach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamevarach Le'olam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Toratahu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Benu Usilakim Ula Umarim Be'el Kol Shehinam Ba'avar Bahar Ubashkela Ubanegem Ukub Ayam Eret Hazanim Bahavanu Ad Bahar Agadol Bahanara.
No.
Rat 8 Natati Binehem Et Haaret Ba'u Orshi Et Haaret Asher Mishra Adonai Ba'abadehem Ba'abraham Vayizchak U'Yakov Ba'tati Ba'em U'Raham Echaremchem Va'umor Alechem Ba'ei Hahir Leimor Lo U'Kol Ba'Bati She'ei Echem. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata b'toheinu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Nadine is now coming and Paul is preparing herself.
Baruch Adonai Hamevarach.
Baruch Adonai Yamborach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamevarach Le'olam Vaed. Baruch
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Adonai Elohechem hirba etchem v'hinechem hayom kofet hashemayim l'ro Adonai Elohei Avotenu Yosef Elohechem Echem Elev Amim Yivaret Etchem Ka'asher Deber Echem Echa Sa Bodi Tachachem Umashachem Urivachem Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nasa b'chokenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Bonnie preparing herself.
Baruch
Adonai Hamborach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Havu lachem anashim hamachim u'zronim u'dinim u'shivtechem va'ashamim va'ashkim v'tavonu oti v'tamru tov hadavar asher v'varta la'asot va'aka et v'ashay shavotachem ashnashim v'chamim v'duim v'tin otim v'ashay Elohim Sarai Alpukeh Sarai Me'ot Sarai Hamashab Sarai Hamshalet Hashatim V'shetachem Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Bonnie is now coming and Michael is preparing himself.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach leolam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'taveh et shofechem va'et hahi lemor shamoa ben achechem v'shvatem tzedek ben ish ben ahiv u'ben gero lo takiru panim b'mishpat kakaton chagadol tishmeun lo takuru minei ish ki hamishpat v'vehim hu ha'davar asher yikshem b'kem takidum elai shvativ v'taveh etchem va'et hahi et kol hadvarim asher tasum. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam natan v'chayenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Michael is coming and Jay is preparing himself. Baruch Adonai Hamborach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayitza behorev hanele ekol hamibar hagadol v'hanarahu asher item derech ha'omri kasher siva Adonai Eloheinu otanu lanavo ad kadesh b'nei Asher Adonai Eloheinu notenanu roe. Natan Adonai Elchecha lefanecha et haaretz ale reish. Asher diber Adonai alehei avotecha la al tira ve'al teha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'Elohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Jay is coming and Jeffrey is preparing himself.
Baruch et Adonai Uvorach.
Baruch Adonai Yimvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Uvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vatikrivun Elai Kulchem Vatomeru Nishlecha Anashim Lefanenu V'yachperu Lanu Et Haaretz V'yashivu Tanu Davar Et Haderech Asher Na'alei Ba V'ei He'arim Asher Navo Alihem V'yitav Ba'inai Hadavar V'kach Mikem Shnei Asar Anashim Ish Echad L'Shavet V'yafnu V'ya'alu Ha'hara V'yavo'u Ad Nachal Eshkol V'yiraglu Ota. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Jeffrey is coming and Alice is preparing herself.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach.
Baruch Adonai Yimvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'nasan lanu et Torato. Baruch Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vatikrivun Elai Kulchem Vatomru Nishlecha Anashim lefanenu v'yachapru lanu es haaretz v'yashivu osanu davar es haderech asher na'alei ba v'es he'arim asher navo alehen v'yitav b'yinai hadavar v'ekach michem shneim asar anashim ish echad l'shavet v'yifnu v'ya'alu ha'hara v'yavo'u ad nachal eshkol v'yiraglu osa. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'Elohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Alice is coming and Adam is preparing himself. Baruch Adonai Yimvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'yadam mipri ha'aretz v'yaridu eleinu v'yashivu otanu davar v'yaomeru tova ha'aretz asher Adonai Eloheinu noten lanu v'lo avitem la'lo v'tameru et pi Adonai Elohechem v'tiraglu v'alechem v'taomeru v'sinat Adonai otanu v'tianu me'eretz Mitzrayim v'atet otanu v'yada emori lahashmidenu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Before we continue, as I'm always speaking in a bar mitzvah or in a bat mitzvah to the girls and the boys, I would like now to speak to Alice. When an adult, when a mother is taking upon herself a commitment to become a bat mitzvah, or when a father, when a grown-up person decides that he never had a bar mitzvah in his time and he would like to become now bar mitzvah, it is not just the ceremony that he is coming to and attending to and learn how to read 3 verses. An adult that takes upon himself a commitment that he is going to become bar and bat mitzvah is making a declaration that says that so far I have done so much, but now when I'm choosing upon myself and I'm taking upon myself the responsibility to become a bar mitzvah, it is a decision that in the future I will do more. So by coming to the Torah today, maybe I should have said it before you started, but coming to the Torah today, you are making announcement before this kahal, between this congregation, and you say, I have done so far a lot, but in the future I'm going to do more. So now you remember, in the future you have to do much more than you have done so far. Baruch Adonai Yamborach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
אלה הדברים אשר דיבר משה אל כל ישראל בעבר הירדן במדבר בערבה מול סוף בין פרן ובין תופל ולבן בחצרות ודי זהב 11 יום מחורב דרך ההר שעיר עד קדש ברנע ויהי ב40 שנה ב12 חודש ב1 לחודש דיבר משה אל בני ישראל ככל אשר ציווה אדוני אותו עליהם.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata v'tivchenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Evan and Jeffrey is preparing himself. Baruch Adonai Yamborach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Yamborach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'miba asher ra'ita, asher nisata Adonai Elohecha, ka'asher yisa ish et beno b'chol haderech asher haftem ad bo'atem ad hamakom hazeh. V'adavar hazeh einechem mita'aminim b'hova Adonai Elohechem. Ha'holech lifnechem v'aderech la'tor lachem makom v'hanotchem v'esh es la'rotem v'aderech asher talchu v'enan yomam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'kofenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Jeffrey and Paul is preparing himself. אפשר שיהיה שקט על יד הדלת? אני יכול לבקש על יד הדלת שקט? ברוך אדוני יבורך לעולם ועד.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Uvamidbar asher ra'ita, asher nisa'acha Adonai Elohecha, ka'asher yisa ish et beno b'chol haderech asher holachem ad holachem ad hamakom hazeh. Uvadavar hazeh einchem ma'amenim b'Adonai Elohechem. Ha'holech lifnechem v'aderech la'tor lachem makom v'chanochem ba'esh la'ila asher telchu baha uva'anan yomam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan Eloheinu baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Paul is coming and Tracy is preparing himself. Yair, אפשר לחלק לסיפור. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Baruch Adonai Hambrach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Barbakibanu Mikol Ha'amim V'Tamanu Et Torato Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'Nishma Adonai Et Kol Divrehem V'Yishkor V'Yishama V'Yimua V'Yireh Ish B'Anashim Ha'Ireh Hador Hara Hador Et Ha'aret HaTorah Hashem Yitehi
Here's a sign. You throw the sweets.
Savatehem Zilati Halid B'Gulfu Yirana Below between Et Ha'aret Hashem Malakbad Yizadav Yam Hashem Leah Ashrei Adonai. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher natan lanu Torah emet v'ati olam natan v'samanu Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Tracy is coming and Mark is preparing himself. 10 דקות. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Baruch Adonai Hambrach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'achar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'yishma Adonai kol divrechem v'yisov v'shava lemor im yireh ish b'anashim ha'eleh hador hara hazeh et ha'aretz hatovah asher nishbati v'tzlatit la'avatechem zulati halechem tunehu yirena v'lo etein et ha'aretz asher darach ba uvanav yan asher milei acharei Adonai. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'dafenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Mark? We didn't forget anybody? What is the blessings?
Baruch Adonai Hamborach.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'achar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Gambi itanach Adonai ina lachem le'mor gam atah lo tavo sham Yehoshua bin-Nun ha'omed lefanecha hu yavo shama oto chazek ki hu yanhilana את ישראל ותפחם אשר אמרתם לבז יהיה ובניכם אשר לא ידעו היום טוב ורע המה יבואו שמה ולהם איננה והם ירשוה ואתם פנו לכם וזהו המדברה דרך ים סוף ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורה אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה
Amen. Is the artillery ready? Shoot!
Thank you.
And no retaliation. Where you think you are, in Lebanon? You know that in Lebanese, bar mitzvah, they throw back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us turn back to our prayer booklets. We are now on top of page 4, and Paul is now reading. Stand up, please.
There is hope, deliverance from hope. Hear the word of the Lord, O you nations, and declare it in the isles far off, and say, O God that scattered Israel, gathers in his people, and protects them as a shepherd watches over his flock.
עץ חיים היא, למה חזיקים בה, ותומכיה מיושר, דרכיה דרכי נועם, וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה, חדש ימינו, חדש ימינו תקדם.
Therefore hope in you, O Lord, that we may soon behold the glory of your might, when you remove the abominations from the earth and cause all idolatry to cease. We hope for the day when the world will be perfected under the sovereignty of the Almighty, and the humanity will call upon your name.
Evan?
And all the inhabitants of the world perceive and know that you alone, every knee of them, and every tongue bow loyalty before you, O Lord. May they bow in worship, giving honor to your glorious name. May they all accept the yoke of your sovereignty. But sovereignty is yours alone, and you will reign forever and ever. It has been foretold, the Lord shall be sovereign over all the earth. On that day the Lord shall be one, in God's name.
Reading.
May God remember the faithful and courageous soldiers of the army of Israel, all those who fought in the defense of the nation, sacrificing their lives in battle, the security of our people, and the survival of Israel.
Moshe.
May Israel remember and be blessed with their seed and mourn the glory of her young, their valor and their blessed will and devotion, which was consumed in the fierce battle. Not in monuments of stone or metal shall the memory be preserved, but in the reverence and pride which will until the end of time be sealed in the hearts of Israel, and their memory is remembering the people of Israel.
We should now all rise. Our sages teach us that in every time of happiness, we should also have a moment of sorrow, a moment of remembering. This is why this morning we shall remember, as we have mentioned, the courageous soldiers of the army of Israel. We shall also remember all of those Jews who died in the Holocaust, dreaming about the land of Israel and never lived to see it. And we shall of course remember all of those from the families of our Bar Mitzvah and Benot Mitzvah, boys and girls, men and women now, who didn't live to see this great event, as we are reciting together, Yitgadal v'Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Ve'alma tivrach Yereutei v'Yamlich Malchutei, בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל. שמי דקודשה בריבו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, לאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. Please be seated.
What do we ask for, Lord? Are the petitions of our hearts so great, so demanding? We ask that children spend their nights in peaceful sleep, with the sounds echoing in the valley are the songs of birds, not the shrill whistle of mortars. We ask that the young grow straight, and grandparents find delight in their grandchildren.
The fields of war will momentarily sell. The world would appreciate the sun being in the water, leave youth into its dreams, and create believers love. But the world should leave you with love, love for man for woman, brother for brother, sister for sister. The nation will not lift up its swords against nation, and they will find war no more.
O Lord, let us put aside our weapons and take up the book and the plow. Let our hands grasp the lyre to play sweet music and the scythe to cut grain that will feed the hungry. Say Lanu Shalom. Give us peace, O Lord, and let it be.
Let us sing together. Lo yehi, lo yehi, ana lo yehi. Kol shenevakesh lo yehi. Lo yehi, lo yehi, ana lo yehi. Kol shenevakesh lo yehi. We shall now all rise. We shall now all rise. We are now one big family, one mishpacha. Boys and girls of the Bar and Bat Mitzvah, parents, brothers and sisters, and even those who do not belong, they belong to us, to the people of Israel, and that is why all of us, we recite together, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Amen. Please be seated. We are about to finish your bat mitzvah and your bar mitzvah. And I would like just to conclude with three ideas that I have in mind that would be a message for you today as adults in the Jewish community. In your life, in the future, you are going to be surrounded by three circles. Three circles that one is bigger than the other. The first circle is your family, who love you and respect you and would like you to succeed. So see to it that you build a nice relationship, that you grow as part of a one Jewish family, because family is more or less all that we have. The second circle is a little bit bigger. This is the circle of the Jewish community. So far everything was handed over to you. Now that you are adults, you start to give. From the power of your hands, from the wisdom of your brain, sometimes if it's necessary also from the money in your pocket, you're going to see to it that the congregation that you live in will succeed and flourish and will be a blessing in the household of Israel. And the third circle is as wide as the ocean, our sages teach us. This is the circle of Jewish knowledge, circle of learning the Torah. And in order not just to speak about learning the Torah, but also to help you to fulfill, each one of you, Bnei and Bnot Mitzvah, is going to receive a baby Torah scroll. What do we do with this Torah scroll? First of all, we roll it to the place that you have read this morning. And you read it, and you reread it, and you reread it, until you don't have any more mistakes, or you don't need the sheet next to you. You read it again and again, and you know it by heart. And then, when you know it, you roll it to the very beginning. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, the first word. In the beginning, Bereishit. And you start to read. step by footstep, chapter by chapter, book by book, until you reach the end. And when you reach the end, you're going to be very wise, very Jewish, and very old. That's exactly what we would like you to be. So I would like now all of you, boys and girls of the bar and bat mitzvah, to come down, each one of you to stand in front of his box or her box, to take the Torah out and face the congregation. Each one of you to find his or her Torah, to open it and to take the Torah and stand, face the congregation. Those of you who have found it, you can turn around and let the others who didn't. I would like to have one line in here, one rainbow. Yeah, turn around. Go as far as this corner over there. That's it. That's it. We still need more space for the others. Go a little bit more, go a little bit over there. Go a little bit over there. Come to this line. Not stay behind. That's it. Who is still missing and want to see you? Come outside. You are now grown-up people, and you have a long journey in front of you as adults. So you need blessings. The boys you'll receive the blessing that you will grow and succeed like Ephraim and Manasseh, the grandchildren of Jacob. The girls, you will receive the blessing that you will grow and succeed like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. And all of you together, the priestly blessing, with the most important word coming in its end, Shalom. May these two blessings keep you and cherish you and give you the strength from now and forever. ישמחן אלוהים כשרה רבקה רחל ולאה ברכה לישראל. ישמחם אלוהים כאפרים וכמנשה ברכה לישראל. יברכך אדוני וישמרך. יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך. יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום. מזל טוב to all of you. מזל טוב. Now each one of you boys received in the beginning of the service, on behalf of the state of Israel, the talit, the praying shawl. Now you may wonder why we neglected the girls. We didn't. So now each girl is going to receive from the state of Israel an ancient glass tile candlesticks. You know what to do with them. Tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, it's Friday night. So before sunset, you put the candles in, you lit them, and you bring the light and the love and the warmth to the house of Israel, to your families. And I think that the most appropriate way to conclude our service is by rising all of us and conclude with the Song of Hope, the Israeli national anthem, Hatikva. Kolot baleva kanima nefesh Yehudi omiya ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia. Od lo avda tikvateinu, hatikva shnot alpayim, liyotam chofshi be'yatzeinu be'eretz Yerushalayim. Mazel tov to all of us. Few announcements, boys and girls, you take your boxes. The rest of the mishpacha, you take your belonging, and the sisterhood is invite you all to the kiddush in the shade.
Hello, 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 hello.
With beautiful mosaic floor, which the remain is right here. How did it function as a steam bathhouse? The lower floor was lined or supported by little columns to the upper floor was supported by columns to the lower floor, and in between there was space. The upper floor was thick, made of clay, and fire was underneath, heating the floor. There is a little reservoir in the corner which had water. People that wanted to have steam baths came in, not with bare feet, because it was very hot, and they put wooden sandals, got in, took water, threw it on the floor. The floor was very hot, steam came up. Inside, there is a lot of space here. You can get a little closer. Please get a little closer. If they think that they were those who invented the Turkish bath, I think if they come here, they will understand maybe differently. The only thing that I would like you to know that how spoiled people can be in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of such wilderness, to have steam bath. When water is hard to get or come.
Oh, very good luck. Mazel tov. Mazel tov.
Stop short, like 12 feet away from where we were supposed to.
This is the area where the food was stored.
What? Oh yeah, that's right. Big rocks like that. What's it for?
Those rocks are the rocks that fell down.
Oh, because it's a big pile all over the place.
Look at this view. Right.
I'm alright. Look at the view. There's
This is the Dead Sea out in the distance.
Keep moving, mother. That's a comment. No, that's a son.
Oh, wow.
I only have a half of you. I have to get a hold of you, so wait.
There, Roman, turn around. There's the building I want.
Dead Sea.
Dad, turn around, Mom.
And you can just float here forever without any effort.
Mom,
There's so many minerals in the water. And let's see how they float. There he is, the bar mitzvah boy floating in the Dead Sea.
Oh, this is wonderful.
It's very heavy. Try it out. See if you can stand. Try it.
You can't stand up.
Okay? Okay? I tied it on the railing. That's okay. That's fine.
You should let go. You're not going to go anywhere.
Don't be afraid to go. That's a girl. You're fine. Good girl.
Go ahead, Edith. Edith, go ahead.
Youth floating on salt.
Oh, God.
Okay, tell me.
Go ahead, plug here.
Uh-huh.
You got 2 red lights on?
Uh-huh.
Get up.
Dad, turn around on your back. Jeffrey!
What do you say, 1:45?
Jeffrey! David! 2 minutes! 2!
Oh, I'm thinking. I got it. Oh, I tried it. Dad! Oh, shoot.
Watch out for the camera.
What? What was that? Tell him.
Ani, go. The shower is over there. Tell them. Okay. Take your brother. We're not erasing.
1 minute! Jeff, stay 1 minute.
A second ago you said it was 2 minutes.
No, 1 minute ago I said it was 2 minutes.
Okay, now I am.
Press the red button.